Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Koop'd podcast, the podcast that does not eat whales. And as always, folks, my name is Koopa, and I'm joined by just one guest today.
It's me.
One single guest. That's Sin. We are here to talk about everything in between with pop culture and fun stuff. This has already gone off the rails. Liz, if you guys are watching the video feed right now, you understand what we're laughing about. This is funny hands. Oh, I can't. Oh my god. Joining me, by the way, I'm Koopa. Hi, I'm the host of your show. Joining me this week, King of the Castle, Lord of the Manor, from the Ooh La La, Don't Mind If I Do podcast, Jared.
It's me. Yes.
Hey, man, what's up?
Oh, just this is great. This is the content.
And but you know what makes this better, Jared?
My two good friends.
Yeah, your two good friends who you also your co-host on the Ooh La La, Don't Mind If I Do podcast, returning guests for the umpteenth time.
It's Andy Samberg experts, baby.
My Andy Samberg correspondence on the show. It is Sean Tony and Cam Lange, Trent Lange. Hey guys,
wow, I've never called him. That's a mouthful. Cam Lange, Trent Lange. That's insane.
Wow. Firing all cylinders right now.
It's a cigarette after that one.
Guys, welcome to the roast of Kyle Rios. Let's get into it.
Oh, right in the kisser.
On now.
Tip the waitresses.
I'm kidding.
Guys,
it's a joke. I'm teasing. I'm teasing everybody.
I'm joking.
Come on.
Folks, we finally did it. We were able to assemble all three parts of the
We haven't
podcast.
even been able to do this in like a year.
Yeah.
I have the glue.
You've done the impossible. You've brought the Well podcast.
You got us to bring out our microphones again.
Yeah. Didn't think we could do
good
it.
old times.
I legitimately had to wipe the dust off of the top.
I believe it completely. Yeah.
All right, so we'll go around the circle, ask how everyone's doing. Jared, first and foremost, you're new to these parts. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for such a momentous occasion, because we're going to be talking about, just at the top, so you guys know what the subject matter is. There's a little movie that came out of Disney Plus this week that wasn't Marvel or Star Wars related. That was really good, which is something that Disney Plus has kind of struggled to market. The Chippendale Rescue Rangers reboot film, featuring John Mulaney and Andy Samberg, came out this past weekend, and we literally just watched the movie about like an hour ago, and we're going to talk about it. So, Jared, welcome.
Certified
Thank you for joining
fresh.
us. Certified fresh. Jared, how you doing? How's your Friday been?
It's great. No, thanks for having me. It's nice to join you guys, and it was fun watching the movie together. I mean, it was nice to do like the group watch thing, and we could all like react at the same time. I mean, I wish this was in theaters. I really do, because it was, I love the communal experience, and this is the kind of thing that I know I'm gonna want to rewatch it because of just how dense it was visually, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about it. But like, I don't know, it was fun watching. I think Jimmy Kimmel recently had COVID, and so Andy Samberg and John Mulaney, they were supposed to be guests on Kimmel's show, but they ended up just guest hosting for the entire show. And every time they had to talk about the movie, they'd be like, "It's on Disney Plus, not in theaters, for financial reasons. It's financially beneficial for us if it's not in theaters." They kept talking about it.
I watched all the clips on YouTube from their guest hosting. It's very good. It's a lot.
It's very
fun.
great.
Yeah.
They're so funny.
They only brought one clip.
They showed the same clip. Like, roll the clip.
Yeah. Sean, going around the horn. How you doing, bud? It's been a little bit since we talked to you. How you doing?
I'm good. Since the last time we talked, the last time I spoke to Kyle on pod, we were talking about Oscar predictions, and I called it. I said Will Smith was going to slap Chris Rock.
It's true. You said it.
It's true.
Proof.
I said it, yeah.
Sean
I also said Ariana DeBose is going to win Best Supporting Actress, and I crushed that one. I'm hanging on the room.
Yeah, man.
That one, so.
Oh, no, I'm doing good, Kyle. Thank you for asking. I've been very excited to see this movie. It was originally announced back in, I think, December of 2020. And as soon as it came up, I immediately messaged Cam, and I was just like, Akiva's doing a new one, and this looks like it's going to be very, very fun. And I'm going to save the majority of my thoughts for the actual discussion. I will just say this much. It good.
There's your non-spoiler review.
Whoa.
Folks. It good.
Damn.
and then rounding out our panel for tonight, Cam, how you doing, bud? What's going on?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me on the show. I don't know what more can I say about this movie that Sean hasn't already said. It's good. It's good.
And that's the official discussion.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Yo, where were the Animaniacs? I didn't see them.
That was a great point.
Yeah,
That would have been a good crossover.
You know what? Looking back, the only Warner Brothers real crossover that I saw in the movie was the Foghorn Leghorn frozen meal.
Oh, true, yeah.
I think Warner Brothers is keeping their characters pretty close to the chest right now because they're trying to do their own metaverse thing. With Space Jam and Legacy. So I think Animaniacs are in that. So I think they were probably like, you guys can have Foghorn Leghorn for a second, and he can't move, and he's on paper. But that's my read on it. And again, we'll go into it in a second. We'll talk about all those fun little Easter eggs.
Yeah, listen. My spoiler-free review of the movie is that it's good.
It's good.
What more can I say that Sean and Cam haven't already said about it? And
I will sue for plagiarism. I will sue for plagiarism.
It's my show.
My review.
But Jared also brought up a great point. But I said this when I was walking downstairs, and I tweeted my thoughts. But I really wish this movie was in theaters.
What the heck?
I want to check the tweet. Hold on.
Hold on. We got to go to the
Can we check the tweet? We want to check the tweet.
I haven't tweeted.
We got to go to the tweet
for the show.
Can we play the tweet back in slow mo? Can we watch that?
Yeah. Can you actually, Kyle? Could you sing the tweet song?
Tweet.
Yeah.
I figured we were putting that.
Koopa's tweet says, "Just watched Chip and Dale movie, and my only complaint is that I wish I could have watched it in a movie theater. Such a fun movie, start to finish."
Wow.
Who likes Koopa?
Wow.
I know, I'm pushing big numbers,
It's
baby.
been up for an hour, and you got 4 likes.
I think that's it.
I think
the big leagues.
That's a certified viral tweet.
Yeah, I gotta say
another classic from Kyle.
I think we gotta call it there. Yeah,
this is gonna do numbers, baby.
We're coming in punchy today. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm coming in punchy.
I expect nothing but the best from everybody here today. But yeah, this movie was fun. It was a fun movie. Once I saw that the Lonely Island and everybody was involved with it, I was just like as excited as you guys. I love John Mulaney and Andy Samberg by themselves. And putting them together was just magic. And this movie, I wish I could have watched it in theaters. Truthfully, it would have just elevated the experience. And I'm glad we were able to get the watch together going. But my God, what a kooky and crazy ride! And I guess this is your spoiler warnings for Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Watch it, please. By all means, go watch it. Here's your little scroll. I'm gonna editing note. I'm gonna put a little editing scroll for spoilers.
Wow.
I can do that now. So.
Oh,
damn,
wow!
Next level.
I'm sorry. How do you is that? I'm sorry. What is that? You edit?
Yes.
Oh,
So I'll take this. I'll chop the stuff out of it that's not that I don't need.
Oh,
and then it makes it a little shorter, but it makes it cleaner. You know what I mean?
Jared doesn't know much about editing.
And then I think
interesting.
You gotta walk him through it.
He was just like, "Who's Ed?" Like,
that's exactly what I was thinking. Thank you. Thank you. God, you're in my head. This is.
I got it.
That's cool.
And then I take the leftover video and then I make stuffing.
More content.
Oh wait, you know what? I'm gonna walk back my Warner Brothers statement. Pickle Rick was in the movie.
Yeah, true.
Pickle Rick. Funniest shit I've ever seen. Funniest shit I've ever seen.
Well, I mean,
can we get into this?
At this point, people who are listening have seen the movie, right? So they know what the gist of the movie is.
I hope so. So basically, here's how I'll spin the premise for you guys. Go ahead.
There's these 2 chipmunks, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sold.
That's all you need, baby.
Good.
So in an era where I feel like the live action animated hybrid has kind of been beat to death in a really terrible way with the Chipmunk movies, the Smurfs movies, a lot of films have tried to channel bring back the magic of what Who Framed Roger Rabbit was able to capture all those years ago. And truthfully, I feel like this is the first movie that's been able to actually walk that line and make it work. There's such a great combination of human acting and CG acting. All the in references were fucking hilarious. So where do you guys want to start with this? Do you want to do we want to start with the Chipmunks?
I can do a quick general overview tying into a previous episode actually.
Go right, by all
So,
means.
Koopa, you thought it'd be funny if you would bring me on for the Space Jam: A New Legacy episode, and maybe watch it. But I think that movie, when I left it, I described it as a shallow husk of a film, and I was just like, that left me really depressed, and I was like, that sucks. And it's also like Warner Brothers has like such an amount of money to it. Like Warner has so much money to their name that they should be able to pull something out. And I'm generally like kind of anti like, oh, let's throw in every IP you've ever seen into one thing. But I think this is done in a way where it's like you have Disney's paycheck. Like, let's use that to get Randy Marsh. Let's use that to get like Shrek. Like, let's get everything in there, and it's done in a really fun manner. So I think this did everything right that Space Jam: A New Legacy did wrong.
Yeah,
generally speaking.
Yeah, I think Rescue Rangers felt very genuine and authentic. And
yes,
it came from a place where people. I could tell that people who were making it really like had a love for these characters. And if anything, my only complaint about the movie, this is my only complaint, is about one character that I wish was in the movie that wasn't in the movie. And it's a crazy weird thing for me to want. But because of how niche it was and how expansive it seemed to be and how many people kept showing up in different characters, I wanted to see Figment. And I don't even know if you guys know Figment.
I know Figment.
Oh, man.
I know Figment.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? I mean, he's so niche. He's not even in a movie. And that was one of the things that I thought, I mean, it's hard to not compare a lot of these hybrid movies to Roger Rabbit. But one of the things I think that made Roger Rabbit work so well was that Roger was a unique character to that movie. And he was in the world, right? And so now with Rescue Rangers, it's like, you know, I mean, we all know Chip and Dale. We've seen Rescue Rangers. And so I'm not saying that Figment needs the star of the movie, not. But I mean, it would have been cool to see, like, that was an Easter egg that me personally, and I'm also just a Figment fan, so that would have been cool. But that's my only complaint, because everything else was just so, I don't know, wholesome. It was great.
Figment fans rise up.
I've got a pin collection. I've got a plushie.
Nice. But yeah, no, I think like, and to also reference back to a previous episode of Koop'd Up, when we were talking about Sonic Movie 2, which, that's going to come up again. We talked about how it felt sincere, like it actually tried to like create something new while respecting the source material. And I think like to Jared's point, it was like, oh yeah, this movie was like, it was actually fun and was respecting like animation as a medium. And even though like one of my small gripes against it is that a lot of the 2D characters are actually that like faux 2D, they're 3D models
that like cell shaded stuff.
Yeah, which is like, I would have liked more of like that Roger Rabbit hand drawn 2D blended into the world. But this, you know, even though that wasn't as present as I would have liked, there is a lot of different animation styles like referenced, and there's a lot of different like periods of animation that are referenced. And without getting too far ahead in the story, but one of the characters is like a claymation character.
Yeah,
and I did not expect
Putty, Officer Putty,
and the puppet.
I want to talk about the puppet in a second because I have a big question about the puppet.
Yeah, but to quickly sum up, I just thought that like the animation for Officer Putty was so sick. Like I did not expect this movie to go that hard with the claymation. And I was like, that is claymation? So cool.
Do you think it was actual claymation, or do you think it was like computer?
It might have been computer. It was hard to tell because we were spoiler,
which is a compliment.
We were doing.
We're past the spoilers. We're well past the spoilers.
I'm joking about spoilers. We did a group watch through Disney Plus, so the streaming quality wasn't super high. So it was like, maybe if I was watching it like full res, I could have noticed the difference. But
wait, really? Because I was in Dolby Vision and Atmos, and it was great.
No, I was having like like audio sync delays every now and then. Like it would speed up and then slow down.
That's a bummer.
So I wasn't getting the perfect quality, but from what it seemed very. If it was CG, it was very like very close to look like to be.
On that same note, I thought the exact same thing about the Cheesemonger. It looked like a proper Muppet, but I think it was 3D animated.
Oh, really?
It was real. I thought.
I think it was 3D animated.
Wow.
Because like there were like a lot of like low to the ground shots of him walking. Now, you couldn't see his legs or anything, but it's still fairly low to the ground, so they would have had to like really cheat that in an interesting way. That being said, like it was done in a way where I was like able to ignore if it was 3D or not, and was just kind of able to accept like this is beautiful animation regardless, because like it captured a lot of the fun of what those like Muppet creatures bring.
I thought it was a real Muppet, but they maybe like did like green screen puppeteer. You know what I mean? Like
they could have. They could have.
Yeah.
I think there was some
like
CG stuff because
right?
I was looking at like the felt. It's absolutely the fact we have to ask is like it felt so off. There was so much. It's virtually every single animation style you could consider thrown into this movie, and none of them really feel that out of place or jarring. Even the Uncanny Valley characters,
which was a perfect way to use them.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
There's another character in the movie that I think we want to talk a lot about, which I think we're all glad that someone found a use.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get into it.
Yeah.
But like, I think we're honestly gonna dedicate like a solid 10 minutes to talk about that performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is insane.
But while
We'll
we're
get
on the
there.
topic, one of the things I kept thinking about when I see all these different. I mean, we're finally in this era where we've reached this technology where we're able to blend this stuff. I mean, obviously there's a lot of effort that puts into it, but it looks really, really good and really integrated. And I mean, you talk about bumping the lamp and all that, the effort that went into Roger Rabbit. And one of the things I was thinking about was, you remember when Paperman, the Disney short, first came out, and it was like a 2D thing, and the technology we do. And everyone was like, whoa, this looks different. Look at how far we've come from that and how that's kind of being used, because there are all these 3D, 2D characters.
Yeah, no, it was like the animation in this cannot be like overstated enough how good it is, to the point where I was like, I kind of wish that the movie ended with Chip getting the 3D surgery, because I thought 3D, like proper 3D Dale looked awesome. And I was like, I kind of wanted to see like all of them in that 3D because it felt very cartoony still. And I would have that weird, like, not fully there kind of look.
I don't know. There was a charm to seeing both of them together.
Oh,
I felt like I got my cake
absolutely.
and I ate it too.
Yeah.
I just like, part of me is like, I just want to see like one picture of them together in full 3D, like the full game.
Yeah,
but whatever.
It was like, because there's like one shot in the movie where it's just like you have like CG with like the cell shaded 3D with claymation with live action actors, and I'm just like, oh my god, like the amount of layers and like editing that would have had to gone into this. Like I would have loved to have like been a zipper on the wall.
Pause. The word he used was editing. Jared.
Oh, I didn't.
I'm sorry.
There's some really, really great like films that have editing in them.
Right.
Like, first one just like coming to mind right now, like Ad Astra. I think X-Men New Mutants, like I like that's another one.
I think Jared's like the only movie Jared's ever watched is Birdman, which has famously no cuts,
no editing. There's no editing.
Well, I've seen exactly 3 movies in my life: is Birdman, the movie 1917, and Rescue Rangers.
Oh, I was going to say I was throwing it back to Hitchcock.
No, that's on my watch list though.
Oh, you're gonna love Rope.
So,
while you're at it, watch Elephant by Gus Van Sant.
I have seen that.
It's a great movie.
Woof.
That's a great
Yes.
movie.
Well
All right,
made.
we're not here to talk about Columbine movies.
You know,
we're here to talk
about
about Chip and Dale.
that's a different. That is a very different podcast.
Yeah.
So before we get into like the meat of all like the cameos and all the fun stuff that popped up in this movie, what's your guys' history with like the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers like show? Because if you watch our exclusive Patreon content, we talked about like the Disney Afternoon and like our history growing up with some of these shows, but my experience with the Rescue Rangers growing up was strictly through like VHS episodes, and I always had this like weird thing as a kid where like I had these like 3 Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers VHSs that I would watch religiously as a kid. So when I found out that was an actual show on TV and not just a videotape, I was like, wait, you mean there's more episodes of this show? Like, whoa, that's crazy. I only know these like 3 episodes. I thought they existed. One time I turned on the TV, and that one of the episodes that was airing in reruns was literally one of the VHSs that I own. So I was like, whoa, there are only 3 episodes of this show. That's crazy.
This is the plot to Toy Story 2. I just want to point that out. Like, you are Woody in this scenario.
Well, they alluded to this in the movie where they were talking about how 1991 was the best year for them, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's like kind of not in the rear view, but it was like a little bit ahead of my time. Like I was kind of aware of it. I
was born in '92. I missed the peak of Chip and Dale cinema.
I caught all my Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers stuff from watching Toon Disney on my extended cable package.
Yep.
Same with like the entire Disney Afternoon stuff. And I will say, like, as a testament to the Disney Afternoon thing, like, I don't remember like any details about any of those shows other than general themes and the theme song. To like
all the theme songs for those shows are bangers.
Tailspin. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Goof Troop, like all the amazing, amazing theme songs. And then the shows, I'm like, well, I remember the characters. Like, he did that thing in the opening video. But that's like it. I will say, the last time I went to Disney World when I was like 16 years old, I did see Chip and Dale there, and they did crank that Soulja Boy.
Oh my god!
It was cool no, they didn't rap. They danced. They did a little bit of this.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's a picture of me with Chip and Dale somewhere. They're cool though. I think here's the thing about Chip and Dale: they're very cute. Like Chip and Dale are very cute characters. The red nose on Dale, come on now.
Especially when they bicker.
Don't get Sean started on Gadget.
Okay, she's very pretty. What do you want me to say?
Everybody had a crush on Gadget, man. It's Tress
Gadget's
McNeil.
very pretty.
It's Tress McNeil. She's
a married woman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish I could have seen more of their freak bastard children.
that was a weird subplot.
That's fun.
How many kids do they have?
I think it was like 80.
42.
Totally normal.
Yeah. Very healthy Christian relationship.
Yeah, like half mouse, half what the fuck? A bug? Is that
fly?
What it
He's a fly.
Yeah, half fly, half
fly.
mouse.
Well, one of them had
kids,
her hands, right?
Yeah, that was very funny.
hands. Yeah.
I don't know. Does anyone have any actual like loving memories of the Rescue Rangers? Like, did they ever save you? Did you ever get saved by the Rescue Rangers?
I wish.
I thought their like flying device was very cool and iconic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the balloon, like that looks rad. That's a really cool, like well designed aircraft.
I like Monterey Jack the character and Monterey Jack the cheese because he looks like my dad.
Wow.
So I dig it.
Does your dad also start like going insane when he smells cheese?
No, he's like, oh, cheese. That's what he does.
Way to take the wind out of my sails. Okay, what's next, buddy?
So I will say, as one of the Andy Samberg correspondents on this show, the main appeal for me was that they were like, we're putting Andy Samberg and John Mulaney as chipmunks in a movie, and I'm just like, that is like, what a fucking premise. It'd be like, just take like two of the funniest guys out there and put them in like, just like kind of in, I don't know if obscure is the right word, but like, I mean, just a bit taking like an older, irrelevant cartoon and like kind of revitalizing it in this way, I think is just like very funny.
Well, I'll say what's also like the idea of Rescue Rangers itself is inherently pretty funny to me because like Chip and Dale for the longest time, like prior to the year 1989 or whatever, they were two little chipmunks and that's all they were. And then it's like 80, like they're like, we're gonna do something different for the 90s. Dress him up as Tom Selleck and dress him up as Indiana Jones, and they're gonna solve mysteries. And like we're just gonna have fun with that. And there are three new characters, and like so the idea itself is pretty funny, and it's also cool seeing like as a cartoon, it makes total sense to me. Like it's them solving crimes, and they're so tiny, so the world around them is so big, even though to us it's regular size. Like I think that's pretty fun, and I think also like the biggest thing for me, like Cam and I, Jared as well. I think we're all here big like Akiva Schaffer directed film fans.
Oh yeah,
like we love Hot Rod, we love Pop Star. We don't really talk about Protect the Block. We love Tour de Pharmacy. But no, Akiva's like great.
No one talks about those HBO specials. They were so funny.
Tour de Pharmacy is so funny. 7 Days in Hell, great.
Very
the Bash
good.
Brothers experience is very
I love
fun.
Bash Brothers.
So like as a comedy director, I have full faith in Akiva Schaffer. Like I think he's
he
great.
also
So when
makes
I
an
saw
appearance in the movie.
as a director.
Right at the beginning,
But yeah, like as a whole though, like so Akiva directed, starring Andy and John. But then on top of it, it's like the idea itself has a lot of like it's a very rich vein. Like you could do a lot with the Rescue Rangers thing. You could do a direct like straight up like let's keep doing the Rescue Rangers shtick, or they could go this Roger Rabbit like noir kind of approach to it. And I don't know. I think it's just like as soon as I heard it, I was just like, oh no, that makes total sense. Like there was like I had expectations set for me when I heard the announcement, and they were absolutely met today. So.
Yeah, I think my big thing, like when they initially announced this, I think it was like during like a Disney Plus Day thing, whatever.
December 2020. I looked at my
when
tweet when it happened earlier today out of curiosity.
Who could forget
like-
December 2020? It's a big month.
I do, except for this day because they announced the movie. My big thing was like when they announced that like John Mulaney and Andy Samberg were going to be the voices of Chip and Dale. Like again, I love Andy Samberg. I love John Mulaney. They're two of my favorite comedians and actors. I was both feet in on board, but I'm like, are they going to make chipmunk noises when they talk, or are they just like, what are they going to do? And then when the first trailer for this movie dropped, I was like, oh, it's so fucking funny. It's just Chip, but he sounds like John Mulaney. Like I thought that was genius. Again, when they lean into like some of the chipmunky stuff, when they talk too fast and stuff, or like can just change your voice on whims. I thought that was funny, but like again, I all the films that you mentioned are some of my favorites that I've watched, dude, both the past year and ever. And I was blown away with the love that they really showed to these characters. Because again, I don't have everlasting like loving memories of the Rescue Rangers. I watched it growing up as a kid, with some varying interests. But like this was so much fun. Truthfully, like.
Yeah. It felt like it had a lot of respect for what came before it. And I mean, I'm sure we could all sit here for like 3 hours and go beat for beat about like how similar it is to Roger Rabbit and what it took. But it's like, just because they are very, very similar in their DNA and in their structure, but it didn't I mean, it was its own thing and they owned it. And what I loved about it was that like they paid homage to Roger Rabbit. They showed him a couple times. They made a Jessica Rabbit joke. We all saw the dip. I think we texted each other.
The dip.
I freaked out.
Warmed my heart.
Yeah.
I was just like, because in my head, I'm like, well, if you want to get rid of a tune, there's one thing that gets rid of a tune. And right next to the eraser is the dip. And he's like Sweet Pete's not that, he's sweet enough, Mm-hmm. No, but also another thing I want to shout out specifically in this movie, like as a general overlook thing, they brought back the majority of the main cast of Rescue Rangers. Like, Tress MacNeille is there. Yeah. Jim Cummings is there. Like, and the only exception being Zipper, who was largely mute throughout the series. They replaced him with the guy from the Allstate commercials.
Yeah, which is
very fun
hilarious.
Choice. But no, it's like between like that and like obviously like them keeping the voice actor for Tails in Sonic 2, I'm just like, thank God, like studios are realizing, oh, we could save some money by just hiring a voice actor instead of a big name actor for these roles. And granted, like no one's going to the movie, like no one's streaming this movie because it's like, oh, Tress MacNeille's doing this. It's like, no, people like the characters. People recognize the characters. They're coming for the characters. Like you could do a Scooby-Doo movie with no like big actors voicing it, and people will still see it because it's Scooby-Doo. Like
yeah.
So to me, I was just I don't know. I just really liked hearing like the actual like voice of Gadget and Monterey Jack, and that made me like really happy to hear that. I like seeing stuff like that.
Yeah,
again,
when Gadget started talking, I was like, wow, it's actually Gadget.
Yeah, like there was a lot of like loving care put into this movie, and like sure, does it take itself 100% seriously? Definitely not, because like anything like this level of meta has to have like some level of like sarcastic in it. But like for the most part, like the movie plays itself very seriously to the point where I was getting a little teary eyed at the end. Like it hit the beats properly, and it's just. Totally. This is what the movie needed to be, and it's like it's funny. It's a good story. I think the mystery is like pretty interesting.
No,
the biggest part is
the turns got me.
Beat for beat, it's like it's a good plot, and it hit all the right notes, and I'm very, very pleased with the movie.
Yeah, big shout out to Tress MacNeille, by the way, one of the best voice actors in the business for a long time. Like it's just like you said, one of those things where like they just pay attention to the detail and the love that some of these people have for these characters, and you don't always have to cast a big name to voice these characters. However, there are some fun cameos.
Can we talk about the character we all want to talk about?
We have to talk about for posterity. Where did he come from? Because I think that it's really important to understand. I think it's really important to understand how he got here. Because I don't think he would have been in the movie had they not bungled it.
Oh, absolutely not. This is like, I wonder at what point in the process of making this movie where they're like, we got to get the rights to
we were just given a beautiful gift. Yeah. And then on top of it, you have Akiva there, an executive producer of I Think You Should Leave. And he's like, I got the guy. Don't worry, I got the guy. Koopa, please tell your audience who we're talking about, because we're all chomping at the bit here.
Yeah,
we want to get into this.
So in a film that is chock-filled with cameos and meta references to a whole bunch of different animation styles and such, the star of the movie, who got billing over J.K. Simmons in the credits, mind you, is Tim Robinson as the voice of the 2020 original design of Sonic the Hedgehog with human teeth.
You can say his credited
ugly Sonic. Ugly Sonic.
Yeah. His credited role is Ugly Sonic.
Yeah, God, name.
Hats off to the casting director there. Again, however it happened. Tim Robinson is Ugly Sonic. Here's the thing. Jared shot us the IMDb listing. Shot me and Cameron a private message with he just sent us that and just said Chippendale. And immediately I was just like, oh, that's perfect. Like, you could not cast a better ugly Sonic. And then on top of it, like, when you finally get to see him for the first time,
they made him fatter.
He looked terrifying.
I looked at the original. I compared it to the original movie design and the one in this movie. They made him even uglier. They actually did. They made like his nose like much bulgier. His eyes are like even like farther apart. Yeah. Like they actually like did like it is like doubled down.
Truly the best part though is that it absolutely reads and plays like an I think you should leave character.
Oh, totally.
Like, it's such a Tim Robinson original character. Down to him just screaming his dialogue. Like just screaming. And so the whole premise is that Chip is at a Comic-Con and sees Ugly Sonic across the hall from him. And Ugly Sonic is bragging about this new TV show that he's on called Ugly Sonic, Uglier Crimes, where he's working with the FBI to try to stop these crimes. And he keeps telling Dale, like, it's a real show. And Dale's like, I believe you. It's like, it's a real show, Dale. Like, it is just
Corn Cob TV.
I would have doubled over.
I truly, the only thing it was missing was just like one, like, I'll kill you. But no, it's a washed up failure that fans cast aside, given to this absolute freak of a man, Tim Robinson, someone I truly admire.
Oh yeah, and there's even a bit about like how people go to get his signature. He's like, "Oh, they're laughing at me." like he knows they like him.
I'm in on it.
Yeah, I'm in on it. Yeah. Like he knows it's ironic. It's like they're not laughing at me because I'm in on it. It's fine.
I love that there's like a hope, there's like a purpose and there's a place for this Sonic. I love that this wasn't Sonic, right? It's not like this is what Sonic really looked like. This was ugly Sonic.
There's a distinct
ugly
difference.
Sonic goes slow.
I go slow.
They're two separate entities.
Extreme close up on its head going, I go slow, baby.
It's so
And it's
good.
like on a creative level, it's like it's so entertaining to see such a divergence. And then on a logistical level, it made my heart warm to know that all those artists who work so hard to like make that, like that there's a home for it and that there's like a use for it where it feels like organic.
The fact that Team Sonic signed off on this,
that's what blows my mind.
It's such a testament to we fucked up. It's them owning their mistake and giving it to probably like one of the hottest. I'd say call it like a hottest voice in comedy, but like as far as people's recognition of like what's funny right now, Tim Robinson's at the forefront of it.
Totally.
So having him this like.
I go slow.
I go slow. Sounds like, and again, end of the movie. Ugly Sonic is in an FBI helicopter screaming, I told you, Dale! I have a show!
It literally does just feel like a character ripped out from one of his sketches.
And oh my god, having Akiva directed too, like he knew exactly what to pull from Tim. And also, I think this is like Tim's first major like voice acting performance, which is insane to me because his voice is so perfect for voice acting.
It's so funny.
So funny.
Again, you couldn't have picked like a better person to play this character. And I actually found while you guys were talking about that, I found an article from Games Radar that Akiva Schaffer did where he talked about like how they were able to like
please
make
let us know
happen.
What's up with Ugly Sonic because I am fascinated by this.
Apparently the studio that I think Mandeville Films is like one of the studios that helped produce the film alongside Walt Disney's company, and apparently they also like did like they did the 2019 Lion King movie. They've done a bunch of other stuff, and they also did work on the first Sonic the Hedgehog film. So he said, like, like the animators had like they had the archives for like the Ugly Sonic, and like he said, so like he said that he like talked to the animators and like, like, can we make this happen? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And he
so
said
those are the like that's actually what he was going to look like.
Yeah, he said that.
They adjusted it. I did look at this.
I know, but like. One of my favorite little touches that they did, though, is like when he yells, they like shrink his pupils a little bit, so you see the whites of his eyes even more as he's screaming.
It's also just amazing to me that there's so many interpretations of movie Sonics now. He's in Wreck-It Ralph, which is also a Disney movie. So technically, Sonic has been in 2 Disney movies. And then there's also like Sonic Movie 2 just came out this year. So now we have just like there's 3 different Sonics that have existed in like theatrical releases, and they're all voiced by different people.
I straight up like I want like Paramount or whatever, someone to do something like I want to see more ugly Sonic.
You want Sonic No Way Home is what you want.
Yes, yeah, basically.
Cam, I'm curious
Sonic multiverse.
As a Sonic fan, I'm curious, like, does ugly Sonic or like does that cheapen Sonic at all, or you think it just heightens and plays into?
Oh no, I think it heightens it. I think like truly like getting Tim Robinson specifically. I don't know. I don't think they could have gotten anyone else. Like
no one else.
It could have been. It could have been anybody else.
Well, it could have been Ben Schwartz doing a voice, but like that would not have worked as well as Tim Robinson was literally perfect.
Yeah, like it being Tim Robinson elevates it so much, and I think like. It also speaks to the fact that they got approval to do it is like I think very like despite a lot of the shortcomings in the Sonic history and like Sega has been very good about like letting people do interesting things with Sonic as a character, like
Sonic Mania.
Yeah, like Sega like doesn't like shut down fan games. They're like as long as you're not profiting off of it, you can like use our characters to make stuff. And I think like this really speaks to the ethos of it, where they're like, and if you want to talk about when Sonic has kind of first started having a bit of a renaissance was when like the social media manager Aaron Weber really leaned in on the memes and like owning the fact that Sonic like has fucked up a lot, and like that became part of like the Sonic brand is like they embraced the memes, they embraced like that culture, and they kind of like they reclaimed it, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that like this like the ugly Sonic is such a blemish. But they like bounced back because like they did change the design, and now
they
like,
owned it.
Yeah, now the Sonic movies are hugely successful. Sonic Movie 2 is the highest grossing video game movie of all time. They're getting a 3rd movie. They're getting a Paramount Plus show. It's like this is the time to lean in on ugly. It's like, you know what? We bounced back. We succeeded. Let's poke some fun at it. Like look at what could have been. And I think it like honestly just like I'm here for it. It's such a funny use of that history, and it's like it really endears it.
How much would you pay? How much would you pay for a Chippendale Rescue Rangers Blu-ray with a special feature on it? That's just an entire episode of Ugly Sonics.
I think it's a commentary, like a commentary track with Ugly Sonic. Like the commentary alone, I would probably drop upwards of like $150.
I do want like the mini doc on like how they got Ugly Sonic and everything, and how they made it.
Well, like let's talk about what else they like managed to.
Yeah, there's a ton of
this.
stuff in here. Yeah,
so I think the one that was most surprising to me was that they have Randy Marsh from South Park in a sauna with Disney pigs.
It's so strange.
It's just like Randy Marsh, like like South Park, the antithesis of Disney. Like being there, and then on top of that, also like who else did you see in this? Like,
there's a lot of like even like without direct characters in it. Like Squidward has a golden star. Chun-Li. Like there's so many random IP in this.
Can we talk? What was everyone's favorite billboard gag?
Oh, there's so many good
great
ones.
Billboard.
Wasn't there Waze the movie?
Waze the movie was one. My personal favorite was Lego Miserable.
That was my favorite.
That was a good one.
Mr. Doubtfire was great.
Mr. Doubtfire is probably my second.
E.T. versus Batman.
E.T. versus Batman was so, and having it being a
that was
plot
so
point,
fun.
like right
having
afterwards,
actually be a movie was like having.
And also like they did it so well where it's just like it's these ideas that also like E.T. versus Batman like is not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Like all these ideas, like kind of could, but I mean, really, like Lego Miserable is such a funny idea. Like whoever designed that, whoever came up with that joke, A+, because it's like such a serious matter, but like with Lego slapped on it, because Lego puts something on everything.
But
I think
to go back to something Sean said before too was like the with like Space Jam being as bad as it was, and there's that. I think Jared brought this up like a long time ago when we first talked about the movie, maybe, but it was like the scene where they have like the big game at the end. And it's just distracting how many characters in their background. Like it completely takes you out of the movie. You're like, I'm just trying to see Fred Flintstone somewhere. Like it's such
Pennywise
and there's a Clockwork Orange guy and
like a bunch of rapists are there. It's like
the flying monkeys.
It's insane.
So,
but this is like they use the background to elevate it. Like the background gags in this movie are hilarious. I was like they clearly had a team of people that were just writing jokes for you to find in the background.
And also, it's not distracting, and also the stuff
Yeah.
that would be distracting is brought to the forefront so that it's not distracting. It's part of the movie.
Yeah, like because the Comic-Con parts are the ones that has the most like references.
I'm
in it.
gonna go back and rewatch that later.
Yeah.
Today, I think
Oh, totally.
I need to take that in again because I gotta say also a perfect payoff to a joke with Seth Rogen playing this little like dwarf version of himself
Yeah.
and running into Pumbaa and his Kung Fu Panda character and his Monsters
And
vs.
Bob.
Aliens character
Yeah.
and
That's
Bob,
good.
yeah,
Bob.
all of them just talking to each other at once. It's such a funny joke.
The laugh.
Where it's just like that, all of them doing their stupid little laugh. Also, I think surprisingly the biggest laugh of the movie. We talked about it briefly before we started recording. Let's talk about the rap scene 'cause I think that was actually very funny.
Yeah.
It's like we talked about it briefly before we started, but it's just like Jared said, it's like the time old trope in movies. Like whenever someone says they're not going to do something, they immediately do it, and just like it had Lonely Island written all over it. It's Dale, it's Andy Samberg rapping, but rhyming his name with Whale, and he's terrible at it. And then John Mulaney jumps in and rhymes Chip's name with.
You're jumping before he throws it to because the whole thing is Chip is very anti like I'm not going to do like rapping animals in this movie.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
show
They
Alvin and the
stick-
Chipmunks. They have Alvin and the Chipmunks
Yeah.
doing it, and they even say like gross. Or it's like I was more of an Alvin and the Chipmunks guy. That makes sense. If they're taking pot shots at that, that's fun. That's playful. But
Yeah.
then, like,
Monster.
so the whole thing is that like Dale starts rapping to a remix of the Saturday afternoon Disney theme song, and it's like
Great
my
theme
name
song,
is
by the way.
Dale. I don't eat whale, and he just keeps rapping with it. It's like, oh man, once you start, you really can't stop. It's like speaking of whales, it's an endangered species, and then he cuts away, and then like they cut back again, and then he throws the mic, which is just a wrench, to Chip, and Chip goes, "My name is Chip. I don't eat whales." And it's such like a silly little joke, and having Mulaney's timid voice do it is so funny.
Did you guys get like a we like sports vibe from it?
Yes.
We like
Absolutely.
sports.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It was just two guys, absolutely. Like,
Yeah. No,
They're
that's like
having
as soon
a
as the
good
rap
time.
started, like this is a Lonely Island skit.
Yeah.
Like,
Very
it's-
much, yeah.
yeah.
But no, it's so funny, and like no, there's a lot of jokes like that where I was just like, it's playing to the trope, but also like kind of acknowledging it. Like I think that was a problem I had with watching Sonic 2, and of course that's a more kids oriented movie that needed to succeed in a certain platform. But there's so many times like the whole dance sequence, like oh boy, let's just
Yeah.
fast forward 5 minutes now. But like this, it's just that I feel like everything they did felt very earned, and like nothing felt like it was wasting my time. You know, like it was very like efficient use of my time from start to finish.
Yeah, I was gonna message you guys halfway through the movie because I was like, one of my only complaints right now is that there's only half a movie left. Like I just
I
wanted
wanted
to
more.
Yeah.
I would've-
Yeah.
I get why it had to be 90 minutes, but I would have loved like a 2-hour cut. Like
That's
throw
right,
on
yeah.
they're on like 15 or 20 more minutes. I would have been all over that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. Another great use of Disney IP is Will Arnett playing an aged up version of Peter Pan.
A
as, like, the
truly
movie's
upsetting,
antagonist.
a truly upsetting to look at version of Peter Pan.
What about the
Oh,
one
yeah.
shot where he looks at himself in the mirror? He's got the wispy mustache.
Yeah.
He's like, ugh.
It's so funny. Like something that I loved about this, because I saw both the trailers for this movie, and something that I loved is that I saw that I knew that Will Arnett was playing like a middle aged Peter Pan in his movie, and it was like that is so fucking funny. I think that that's such a great concept, and that they still had more to hide on top of that. Like they were about to hide Ugly Sonic from the entire marketing scheme for this movie, which is like
Oh yeah.
that's incredible.
No,
So it's
and
like,
if they would have used like one joke of it in the trailer, I would have been like, okay, I get the entire thing. But like they held that back for so long, then you get to watch it, and there's 3 major scenes with Ugly Sonic, and each of them pay off like a slot machine. It's great.
Yeah, I
One of the
think it was like a good strategic decision to not include him in any of the promotions too, because it's
It
like,
would have been distracting.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's also like it's like the organic virality of it. Everyone posting the screenshots, like it's doing that's
The
so much
discovery
free.
was huge.
Yeah, it's like the free publicity that they're getting from that is like genius.
Absolutely. What were you going to
But-
say, Jared?
Oh shoot, I don't remember.
Okay,
You
can
talked-
I just list some
Yeah.
of my like favorite random references
Yes.
that were in this
go
movie?
for it. Go for it.
So there's the Bigfoot from a Goofy movie, which like again we talked
Wearing
about.
a Fred Flintstone tunic.
Yeah, so like and Goofy movie is like probably my favorite Disney movie like ever.
Yeah.
So like that was a huge win. Sora's hair, like
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is in this. Like what the
Yeah.
hell?
Jimmy Neutron.
No, Sora is
Neutron's in-
canonically. Well,
mean, he's a
Sora and
Disney
Jimmy
character.
Neutron have canonically been bootlegged
Yes.
because of that scene. It
Yeah.
implies that they have been like taken, erased, and changed into a knockoff version of it.
Yeah, so Sora's like
Which is
got the
mortifying,
short
by
end
the
of the
way.
stick somewhere. Yeah,
Like-
so those two really stood out to me for sure. I'm going through our group chat because we just kept putting in like just our reactions, typing things out.
Bonkers was in it.
Yeah, totally
Yeah,
nuts.
totally nuts.
Yeah, totally nuts, dude. That was
Chris
crazy.
Parnell as a
As the
Oh my
agent.
God.
as
Yeah.
Dale's
Oh,
agent.
So that was one of the things I was thinking about was in terms of all these characters that we're seeing, and we were talking about Sweet Pete, right? I was thinking how, like, who are they going to let be the bad guys, right? Because it's like Peter Pan's a beloved character,
Mhm.
you know, these children's movies. Like, how far are
Yeah.
they going to go with that? And I thought it was interesting because it's like our bad guys, for the most part, outside of him, aren't really like real characters, right? Like we got the Coca-Cola
They're original
bear.
characters, yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
Viking and like a Gumby ripoff, which, you know,
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
send-up, I should say.
Well, I think what's interesting is that Peter Pan, like, I think, like, the general view of Peter Pan has kind of, like, changed over the years. Like,
Yes.
people go back and watch it, and it's like, what the hell did Captain Hook do? Like,
Yeah.
like, why did, like, Peter's, like, not great, so I feel like Disney, like, I'm sure they thought for Peter. Where it's like, give us somebody that we could just turn into a fat, ugly character.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we gave you Sonic. It's like, no, fatter and uglier.
Because
God.
Sonic's not
Also,
a bad guy
just-
in the movie.
Because
No,
you
he's
know
a
what's
good-
funny?
he's a
I
hero.
thought that the villain from Rescue Rangers, like was it Big Cat? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's character name? I thought he would have a presence in the movie, and like kind of,
Yeah.
but like
We saw
the
Big
end
Pete
transformation.
pop up. Would have been
yeah.
surprised if he
Seeing-
was.
seeing Pete in there, it made me wish I could have seen PJ, Goofy, and Max too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That would've
even
been
just
nice.
hearing him go like, "Get out of the way!" Like,
The whole
Pete
time-
Cummings is Pete. It's music
Yeah.
to my. It's like
So
it's
good.
honey to my ears.
When
I
they
think,
said
like-
Sweet Pete, I was really hoping that like I hope they actually show Pete, and then so
like
the fact
Peg
we got
Leg Pete,
yeah, the
Keelhaul
fact
Pete,
that we
whatever
got
you
him in
call
there
him.
was a lot of fun. Also,
Yeah.
just another random one in there was Aunt Man instead of
Oh,
Aunt
yeah,
Man.
that was a
Oh,
fun bit.
so fun.
I was gonna say I want Koopa to talk about this because he's an MCU guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, look, it's just look, man. I love Paul Rudd, and in defense of Ant Man, again, that's low key in my top 10 of Marvel movies. It was very funny, but just like seeing Paul Rudd and they're just kind of taking a shot. It's like, yeah, I originally wanted to do Aunt Man, where I'm just a very likable but to aunts. I'm just like, that's so fucking funny. That's great.
Great
Um,
little use of the MCU. Just like,
Yeah, and
great.
truthfully, one of my favorite sequences in the movie is when they eventually get to the Uncanny Valley, because that is such a great use of like all those like really awkwardly animated like early 2000s Polar Express type things.
Yeah, the Polar Express joke was very good.
I'm just like, that is so
I'm
like,
looking
'cause-
right at you. What are you talking about?
like, because when I watched the trailer, I'm just like, I just thought it's like, oh, it's Seth Rogen, like that's funny, like he's playing a Viking. But I'm just like, oh no, they're playing like bad CG shit from the early 2000s. I was like, that is so fucking
Yeah.
funny. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I love it's a brilliant use of animation. I thought Keegan Michael Key as the as Bjorn Sean the cheesemonger. Like I
Mhm.
think,
Oh, that was Keegan Michael Key.
yeah, it was Keegan Michael Key.
Oh.
I saw him
So-
credited, and I couldn't figure out what character. He
Same
was.
here.
That makes sense.
Just
I
doing
love-
a Swedish Chef
yeah.
impression. Yeah.
God.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
the
I-
Muppets, man.
There's just so
It's
much
so
random
fucking
stuff
funny.
in this movie. Like there's like the Shrek.
It's dense, yeah.
Like stuff. There's He-Man and Skeletor. Like hearing
Yeah, oh,
Skeletor.
Skeletor's
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah,
like,
fucking awesome.
It's
I love
because you're
that.
not wearing pants. Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Also,
we even got a
quick note
Wreck-Em
on that.
Ralph's. Wreck-em Ralph's.
quick, Wreck-em Ralph is there, yeah.
Quick note on He-Man and Skeletor. Skeletor
Uh-huh.
is voiced by his original voice actor, Alan Oppenheimer.
Good. Yes,
which
that
is-
rules.
Again.
It's such a loving tribute to like that 80s, 90s, like morning, like Saturday afternoon cartoons. Like it's really like they got a lot of that stuff right. Also, there's a fun thing where when they first go into Main Street, which is just like Main Street Disneyland, you see the mom from Phineas and Ferb
Yes.
selling muffins.
Yeah.
And again, like it's like all this stuff where it's just like,
There was a Big
It's
Mouth character in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there
all Big
was, there
Mouth
was,
character.
yeah. No, it's like there's a lot of stuff there that I really want to like go back and just like I'm sure by like the time I'm finished speaking, there's a BuzzFeed article about every Easter egg you missed in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. And I've got to look at it because again, there's too much to take in on your first watch. But like again, the best part is like you don't feel like you're missing out on much because the story and the jokes are there and they're funny.
Yeah, and I think where this like succeeds too is like not only did they like pay the respects to like their original voice actors for a lot of the cameos, and like they didn't just shove in a bunch of cameos. They did it in like fun ways. It wasn't just like Shrek's here. It's like no, like we have like Shrek products in the movie.
Yeah.
right? Like,
And they
it's
make
kind
By
of
the way,
porn
I
rides out of
remember, I remember seeing those. Like, I remember seeing them on the shelves at stores.
Yeah.
I don't know who bought them, and that's
no
the
one.
joke.
Yeah. So it's like I think those things rule, but I think what also rocks is that they didn't just lean in on like Disney money to get IP. I feel like Akiva, and Andy, and John just like pulled in their comedy friends.
Mhm.
And, they just like pulled in all these like really funny people to be in the movie with them too. So like you're just getting all these different angles of just like things coming together in a way that's like genuinely entertaining.
Also, the original characters felt very natural and real.
Yeah.
Like I think like the
Yeah.
original like stylized characters, like the guy's shining shoes, which is just like an old like pie-eyed Fleischer Brothers kind of character.
Yeah.
With,
Yeah.
like, the rubber hose arms, like
Mhm.
it all felt authentic.
You know, it was
and
a
again,
deep one for me, like a kind of a deep cut. The
Go for it.
Donut Cops.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I was like,
Ralph.
what the fuck? I'm like, that's
Wait, what
so
is that?
random.
What was it from again?
Wreck-It Ralph, right?
Wreck-It
It was
Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, they were
that's
so funny in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, so I was like,
Real
why am I-
piece of work.
yeah, like why am I so excited for the Donut Cops from Wreck-It Ralph?
Yeah. Also, like again, I know you talked about it earlier. I want to just go back there. Officer, the way they had so much fun writing the physicality of Officer Putty.
yeah,
Like the way that he like gets a fingerprint that peels off the clay. Very
Voiced by
fun.
the great
he
J.K.
gets
Simmons.
the newspaper
also.
print stuck on his
Yeah.
face. Like
Also,
that's-
I want to like underline like the fight scene between Officer Putty and
Ellie.
The cop.
the
Ellie.
human girl.
Ellie,
Ellie, thank
yeah.
you. The one rare human character.
yeah.
Like is great. It's genuinely like it feels threatening. Like it
Mhm.
feels very authentic. They just rip off. They pay homage, not ripping off. It's Terminator 2. They have him like sneak in through the bottom of the floorboard. And
Yeah.
it's great. Like, it felt threatening, and like J.K. Simmons. I mean, J.K. Simmons is great, and like seeing him act in a movie with Andy Samberg again. Like I'm never upset at that. So
Love Palm Springs.
What was the name of the agent? What was the name of the agent?
Putty.
No.
Ellie?
No, the agent who he.
Oh,
he
the
got a phone
agent, the
call.
Chris Parnell.
Yeah.
Oh
Molinari.
my god,
What?
he wrote it in our group chat. Hold on,
I forget
Dave
his
Molinari.
actual name.
Dave Molinari.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I want to see a movie with him and Hank Mardukas.
yeah.
Where do this from?
From I Love You Man. He's
Oh,
J.K.
yeah.
Simmons' best friend. He's like, yeah, I got two best friends. It's your brother Andy Samberg and Hank Mardukas.
Also got My Little Pony was in this. I was like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Oh, didn't one of them
also,
vomit?
No, that was a
Bongos?
different. That was a
No,
different.
that was a different
unrelated
one.
pony.
Paula
That was a-
Abdul with the cat from the music
Oh, DJ
video?
Scat Cat.
Yeah.
DJ Scat Cat.
That was
from Opposite
crazy.
Sides.
Yeah, that was
Like,
nice.
There
So
was,
many weird pulls.
There was also. I want to like really analyze the scene where they finally go through the like the bootlegger machine. You see
Mhm.
every prop up there.
Yeah, I want to see
Apparently,
all the.
like Shenron's tail from Dragon Ball Z is in there.
Oh shit!
Like I
Yeah,
know that
there's
there's
some
like,
anime references. I saw.
Oh yeah,
like,
there was an Ash
Sailor
Ketchum
Moon,
cosplayer.
Ash
Sailor
Ketchum.
Moon, yeah.
Yeah. There's
There's a couple
lot
of just
that going
animated,
on.
like
Sorry.
anime style characters.
Yeah.
I just started laughing because I remembered when they broke onto the bootleg sets and we saw Pooj.
Yeah. Pooch.
Also the Simpsons ripoff.
Yeah. The Simpsons. was-
Simpsons
What do you say?
ripoff was great.
Instead of I caramba, he said something just slightly off. Like it was all just the right amount of off. Where you're like,
It's like Aichi Baba or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stupid.
It's so funny.
Yeah, no, but like again, like you see this stuff, and it's just like there's so much love put into it. And I think if like just general fans of animation, like you go into it, you're gonna find something fun there.
Mhm.
And yeah, I want to go through. I want to dig through it. Like this is something where again, like I get why it wasn't released in theaters. I love Akiva Schaffer as a director. Unfortunately, he's kind of box office poison. Hot
Mhm.
Rod and Popstar flopped big time, even though they had critical acclaim.
Yeah.
well, they're probably
Yeah.
going to be cult classics at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Hot
yeah.
Rod definitely.
Yeah.
is.
Who
Yeah.
isn't going to rally around those? I really want to rewatch Popstar, and it's like not
Popstar's
so good.
streaming anywhere right now.
I actually.
I had to I wanted to rewatch it pretty recently.
You
And
have to
I have the
rent it now.
Blu-ray, but I don't have it with me here, so I just ended up fucking I rented it on Amazon Prime or some shit. 'Cause
Yeah.
I really want to watch it again. And it's hilarious. I mean, it's hilarious.
It holds up super well.
Yeah.
because there's like that's an example of like one of those classic comedies where it's like there's a scene that's burned in my brain like forever, and for me, it's the bees. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
text on the screen with the bees. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
much to love about that movie, but for whatever reason, when I think about that movie, that's the scene I remember. Much like, I mean, like, I don't know, Everything Everywhere. This is another conversation, but there's scenes that just stand out as
Oh, the
singular
Rock scene.
moments. The Rock.
The Rock,
exactly.
yeah, The Rock.
It's like when you're
It's
at the
very
Rocks, you're just like, I haven't seen anything like this in a while.
You know, I actually, you just reminded me, as I was watching Chippendale Rescue Rangers, I had a thought that I have not had probably since I was a child, which was,
Where's my juice box?
yeah. And I had another thought afterwards, after I'm like, I don't have any juice boxes. What else can I think about? This would be a great video game. There are so many fun set pieces, and I was like, I would love to play like a video game version of this.
Yeah, solving a crime and something like that.
Solving a crime, like dodging lasers, like navigating a rocket into a warehouse. Like, there's so many fun like action sequences and like fun mystery stuff that like I think I kind of wish there was like an adapted game. Like, that would be fun.
There is a Super Smash Brothers reference at the
oh
end
my
of the
god,
credits
that
with
like
Disney
to have
afternoon characters.
To have that come out today, the same day where Multiversus Alpha goes live. Like,
Yeah, for real.
I'm just saying,
was the
man.
reference? I don't know.
So there's
during the credit sequence. Yeah, go ahead, Koopa. Sorry.
I was gonna say there's a billboard at the end of the movie during the credit sequence where it shows all the Disney afternoon characters with like a game like company logo in the corner.
Fun.
And I'm just saying, if Disney ever decides to make a platform fighter, all of us are like that. That's the one.
They
man.
will.
Like,
hold on. Koopa, look at me in the eyes. They will.
Yeah.
I'm looking
After
directly at you. I'm looking right at you.
Like right after, like if Multiversus was a success, if it's going to be a success, I can't say it was a success. It came out today, almost. But like the hype that Nick Brawl got, like they're going to do some kind of thing like that.
I'm sorry to diverge us too much, but what is Multiverses and what's the one that SpongeBob is in? Are they
There's two different games. There's Nick All-Star Brawl,
boy.
which is the Nickelodeon one, which has a bunch of Nicktoons in it fighting each other. And then there's Multiverses, which is Warner Brothers properties. So you have like Game of Thrones, Looney Tunes,
DC,
Batman,
DC.
Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Tom and Jerry,
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. So the big difference there, Jared, and again, this is great for this episode.
Yeah.
The big difference is that the Nick team did not have a big budget, so there's no voice acting or like sound, like there's sound effects. There's no voices whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So like you're playing as these iconic characters, and you just don't hear them talk.
And they're
ever.
silent.
And then, as opposed, Multiverses has like customized it's all new audio to the point where it's like when I was playing as Taz and I was fighting someone playing as Jake the dog, I hear Jake the dog go, "Where the heck even is Tasmania?" So like there's Multiverses is one that I think is going to be
free?
more popular. It's going to be free to play.
It's free to play.
It's in closed alpha right. Yeah, it's in closed alpha right now, but the game's going to be
beta comes out in June or July, but it's going to be entirely free to play, and its focus is 2 versus 2 battles.
I find it interesting. You know, we're living in this age where
Multiverse is the name of the game right now.
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
you get the multiverse movies. You get. Smash was one of the biggest first crossover events of that size, and now that was a video game, but now we're getting it in movies, and that's seemingly what people want. They just want all of their favorite characters.
It's because why
interact.
And again, me saying this, I recognize the irony of me saying this after like gushing about this movie, but like it's why write new IP when old IP can meet other old IP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's it, right? Like
I wonder. I also have a theory, which is, besides just like the cash grab of just like
a cash grab
of like, oh, you're gonna just watch things that, like we're gonna cast a wide net of like interests, and you're gonna want to see these things together, or like if we connect everything, you got to consume all of the media to understand it because we're Doctor Strange too. But it's like my theory also is that like life just sucks so fucking much that the idea of there being alternate universes, I think, is appealing to our generation right now. We're like, I'm just in like one of many timelines where like maybe things went worse in other timelines,
right.
Maybe they went better in other timelines.
Kind of like how the housing crisis kind of led to like a lot of zombie movies.
Yeah,
where it's like, and that similarly, it's like, let's say, I don't know, a big massive election back in like the middle of the 2010s.
Let's just
like
hypothetically,
hypothetically, let's say let's say the American public ended up electing a total buffoon, an orange buffoon of sorts.
Well, he said
sure.
Maybe people are like, oh man, what if things played out a little bit differently? What would our universe look like then?
Yeah,
and that kind of leads into that too.
That's part of my theory with.
Koopa, I'm so glad you brought us on your podcast, because one of the things that we try to stay away from on Ooh La La with our brain is politics. Mm-hmm. But what we all love talking about
is actually. That's actually really interesting that you brought that up, Jerry. I was like thinking about like with Chip and Dale, like the role of Monterey Jack really reminded me of just like the Catholic Church, and like I have a lot of thoughts about that.
But seriously, John Mulaney.
I don't think Chris Pratt was in this movie, by the way.
Oh yeah,
but John Mulaney has, I think, famously kind of skirted. What's interesting to me, as I would say, a big John Mulaney fan. It's interesting to me how he simultaneously has skirted politics. Like his
work has been political. In the hospital.
He's the horse in the hospital, but simultaneously,
pretty good Mulaney, right? Come on,
pretty good. That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
Hold on. I'll get to know Mulaney things to say. I was going to say, Jared, no. He did openly endorse Bernie Sanders back in 2016.
Oh, I don't know, but in his set, I'm saying in his
comic, there you
set,
go.
you know, if you listen to his 4 specials, what's interesting is he avoids it for the most part. He leans into it a little bit with, I think, was
his
the
SNL
Comeback Kid.
monologues. Yeah.
No, with the Comeback Kid, where he started like the end of it is the Bill
The Clinton
Clinton story.
Yeah.
But also, conversely, what I've always thought was interesting is in his first 2 specials, he does talk about Donald Trump very specifically, where he brings up like Donald Trump is like a poor man's idea of what a rich person is. Like, I'm gonna have fine golden hair, like that's his joke. And it's interesting to me because he's in this movie, which is not political at all, and it's just like that's kind of his brand. So
I'm gonna reel it back now. Have you guys ever heard how Andy Samberg does an impression of John Mulaney?
Wait, I don't think I've heard it.
He just goes, as one does.
You know what mine is? You know what my hook for him is? It's the one where he goes, "Who's to say?"
Our dear friend Lucas, my old college roommate, his was just like a liar does. No, Mulaney's great, man. I don't know.
He's so funny, man.
I think like in this movie too, I think it kind of skirted the line. The one thing I was kind of like, okay, I get it, is there's a lot of like Chip explains the joke in an exasperated manner kind of jokes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, after a couple, I'm like, all right, let's speed it up.
You mean
And
like
they did. They
you mean
sped it up.
like the landline joke where he's like, "I don't like that," because I kind of like that joke, but I don't know.
No, it was more so like when they were leaving the Monterey Jack's apartment, there was some line that like Dale said. It's like, of course that's a good idea. No, why would I do that? Like something like that. We could do the opposite of what you said. Like something like that, where I'm just like, okay, I
Dale,
get
you are
Chip's
also
deal.
here.
Yeah,
Again,
some of them landed, but there's a point where I was just like, okay, let's push Dale a little bit further. Let's do something new with Dale, where he's not like, let's get to the fun faster. Because that's the whole point of movies, right? You want to get to the fun, especially movies like this, and and it does because Dale is the vehicle for fun for the majority of the movie.
Yeah.
The Odd Couple thing works. I mean, you have John Mulaney's cynicism and like Andy's bubbliness,
goofy,
and
he's goofy
and they're that makes for comedy. It's great.
Am I talking about Max Goof?
Well,
There's I think it was in the opening scene where like Dale's just like talking across the aisle to Ugly Sonic.
Yeah,
and whenever anytime Andy Samberg like talks to somebody like exasperated, I'm just like, I just see him in his Jake Peralta face. Where he's just like, "What are you talking?" I'm just like,
man,
I cannot replace that.
If you want to hear an exasperated Andy Samberg, I'm going to remind Cameron of one of the best Weekend Update characters on SNL history. It was Jacob the teen who just woke up from a nap. Where he would walk out with like this massive bed head, like wrapped in a blanket going, huh? Like, yeah, man.
I was also thinking about with Andy Samberg. I was thinking about his Swedish Chef impression when we had the chef, like one of the
three impressions he could do.
Yeah.
What were his three? But it was that. It was Leah. Or no, it was what the hell is it? The guy, the Hans Gruber in Die Hard. Saying, no. And he had like one other impression, but like he only had 3 impressions going into SNL.
Mm-hmm. The Swedish Chef was one that was just
a couple of other notes that I wrote down here. They do that thing where they make a reference to a joke and then immediately play into it. Where they're like, "Oh, this is the part where they play the theme song," and they're just like, "No, this is the part where it's played by a pop artist." Yeah,
I thought it was Post Malone did a good job.
Yeah, it was fine. I enjoyed Post Malone. And also, Darkwing Duck appears at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
that was the Darkwing
Duck.
That was dope.
I'm a fan.
Fun. I was really hoping for a little bit more Ugly Sonic, just as like a last second gag. Like just let him.
I was hoping for a post credit.
Just like let him riff.
Just let him.
So let me pen this question to you guys. So now we talked about it up top where the live action animated hybrid has been in kind of a dormant state for a while, and I feel like this film, has sort of taken that Who Framed Roger Rabbit ism and sort of made it good. It's good. So do you guys have an animated live action property you'd like to see get stemmed off of this? Because again, it's all about nostalgia right now. Is there a property you want to see brought back from the dead?
I think it's apparent that the 3 of us all want an Ugly Sonic movie.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like that's it. From this movie specifically. We all want an Ugly Sonic spin-off series.
Tim Robinson.
Hold on. Ugly Sonic Vision.
Oh, there we go. God, I
think
know,
it was
I know
Jared
we
that
already
said
addressed it, but I just
Yeah.
I can't get over how funny it is that they acknowledge that Sonic exists, but he's different. Like that's separate
He's
person.
ugly.
Like
I love it.
like that's Sonic's thing. Like I love that they make that distinction. I just can't get over it.
It's the same cadence he does as like the Star Wrangler. It's like, oh, at that price they can hit me.
Exactly. Yes, 100 fucking %. It's like the same.
Oh,
character. It's
Jesus
so
Christ.
funny.
So you're asking what animated character we'd like to see a live action?
Well,
movie
yeah,
about?
what animated? Is there another animated property that would meld well in this sort of genre?
No.
Okay,
Bonkers. Yeah, totally.
Here's something interesting, and this is like it wouldn't even fit, but it's just Cameron. I'm not joking. I just happened to rewatch World of Tomorrow, all 3 episodes.
Oh,
And you want to talk about like alternative animation or like it's like I don't even know. I don't even know
Don
what.
Hertzfeldt.
yeah.
Can you imagine
Hertzfeldt.
if you saw a Don Hertzfeldt too, like a rejected, like my spoon is too big in the background? I mean,
Yeah.
what would? Well, I don't even know what I would do. I'd be
I
like,
would
whoa.
try.
Just someone's anus bleeding? Yeah.
Obviously, yeah,
People
some of those
going like
characters
this.
doesn't fit. But yeah, but I mean, that's only at the top of my mind because that's the last animated movie that I watched besides
Oh my god,
Rescue
you
Rangers.
you just gave me like this is like where society really peaks. I'm just like thinking about now, what if just like indie creators start taking the same approach as mainstream media? Like,
The indie
what if we, it's like the indie movie multiverse.
Yeah.
God, that's not.
It's just like
you know,
this
like
guy-
it's the Sarahverse. It's just all these Michael Sarahs beating each other.
The truth is that if Don got one of his characters in this movie, it probably would have funded the next 3 World of Tomorrow episodes.
Oh, yeah,
because I know he said.
100%.
I remember the AMA where someone's like, "Hey, can we have a box set or something?" Like you release on Criterion. He's like, "I'm not finished."
yeah, it's not done.
Great response. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know that the hybrid, the live action thing, I don't know that it was ever really dead. I feel like every year, every couple of years, we got one, right? Like it was like the Peter Rabbit, or we got, I'm sure. We got Disenchanted is coming out. Like
We had Detective Pikachu, and that did well.
Yeah.
It didn't do as well as
I
Sonic.
should have seen that. I didn't see it. And I should.
man.
You should watch Detective
No,
Pikachu.
it was fun.
It's
Take
fun.
Pikachu. You would like to take Pikachu.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I know
it
it
was
looked really cool. I remember seeing the trailer. I was like, oh, I like these like real life looking Pokemon.
Okay. Oh, I think I got something here.
Oh, you're onto something. Yeah.
think I'm
you
on
picked up on the
something
scent. It's the cheese.
I got it.
Okay.
It's Kirby. I want to see a Kirby movie.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Whoa. Oh,
Yeah, why not? Right?
Kirby's
Like-
voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Oh
But-
God.
No. God, I was in such a good mood.
I'm gonna say I really enjoyed Free Guy.
Okay. Free Guy is bad. Free Guy is objectively bad, but like I didn't hate it. Like
No, right?
it's
That's
like,
what I'm
it's
saying.
like
It's like I
kind of
enjoyed it.
fun. It's like
Wait, hold
bad.
on.
Like I'm watching, like, oh, this is bad, but then I'm just like, it's kind of fun.
I got an actual answer, Koopa.
Okay.
I want them to do a Stitch movie where he goes into the real world like he did in the trailers for all those other
yeah.
those fake Lilo and Stitch things where it started out with
I
the
like
Cinderella
that.
trailer
That's a
and
good
he
idea.
ruined it. Or like when he took over Disney World for his ride, like why not have like Stitch just like start out with like a normal Disney movie and then just like there's a little blue fucker just ruining it.
I'm
Stitch
about
is
It's really
okay.
popular.
You know,
Stitch rocks.
Yeah, Stitch rocks, but that just made me think of just like characters that could work in this. We talked about them at the beginning of the pod and how they weren't in this movie. Imagine Animaniacs bringing their
Yeah.
zaniness to live action.
You know what? I think
Like-
that's actually the answer. I think
like
that's-
tormenting like actual people with their insane
Yeah.
antics.
If we got an Animaniacs movie, I would be pretty
You
thrilled.
you cast Will Forte as like the therapist.
Oh
guy,
my
Yeah.
god!
Yeah.
Right? Like right. I was
that'd
going to
be
say
so
though,
funny.
the one character, there was a character that I really wish that we could have gotten a glimpse of in this movie, and like I get why it didn't happen. But man, I would have loved to see Mickey Mouse. Like just like throw
Yeah.
Mickey in there for like.
I did like the little reference with the
Why
fireworks.
didn't
Yeah,
have
with
it?
The
Why
fireworks.
didn't have it? Because Disney's very protective of Mickey. Like, think
Yeah.
about the characters they allowed to be in this. Like Disney original
Flounder.
characters that they allowed to be in
Yeah, the
this.
Flounder.
Flounder
Yeah,
doesn't-
not Ariel. Yeah.
yeah. No, not that. Like even like Pete, not Goofy.
Yeah.
Like fat
Right.
Peter Pan, not Tinkerbell.
Ooh.
Like not Captain Hook. They were very selective.
Yeah, you're
with
making-
which
you're
characters
making
they
some
allowed,
good
and they were
points.
never. The fact that they allowed Clarabelle Cow in the beginning,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like Clarabelle was in
And
there.
they
I got
threw
so
her out of
excited
a
to see
window.
Clarabelle. Yeah.
Mhm.
But no, so I think they're really selective, and like I knew that like they weren't gonna do Mickey, but like man, it would have been powerful if they had like Mickey or Kermit.
Mhm.
Like as far as like recognizable Disney characters, it's like that's 1 and 2. As far as like cartoon characters,
I agree
or
with
cartoon
Cam.
adjacent characters.
I agree with Cam where I thought it was funny where the firework goes off and it plays the Walt
Oh, yeah.
Disney.
Yeah,
I will
it's good.
admit that one of the things I find a little distracting is, and maybe this is just, I don't know. I mean, it seems like it doesn't matter whether you're in the industry or not, but it's like you're thinking about, I find it sometimes a little distracting, like thinking about the logistics. Like when I see, you know, when you go to a movie and there are cameos in the movie without spoiling any particular movie, and you get a whole bunch of different franchises in one place, right? And it's distracting because I'm not really in the movie anymore. I'm now thinking,
You're like, how do
I'm
they
like,
prove this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm you
Think
know
about the lawyers.
That didn't happen in Rescue Rangers because I was invested with it. But so that's what I
would
think is
say-
interesting. And to riff on that, go ahead.
I was gonna say a movie that did it right, like a Rescue Ranger style, Wreck-It Ralph 1. A movie that did it where it's distracting is Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, and so just all of this when we start talking and when we call it content, we talk IP, right? I find it's so cold and.
yeah.
And one of the thoughts I had recently in that's in this sphere is, you know, I went to see Batman in the theater, which was really cool. I'm not like, I mean, you know, if I'm going to talk about superheroes like Spider-Man and Batman, that's my wheelhouse. And I went
1
to
and
see
2
Batman.
across the board. Yeah.
Yeah, literally the coolest 2 ones. Yeah.
I guess. I mean, so your average person. So, you know, I went to see it in the theater when Batmobile started up. I was like, that's so cool. Sounded awesome. But one of the thoughts I had after that, because I thought it was, have you guys all seen it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
And I won't spoil
Sorry,
it.
Sean.
But what I'll say about
I
it.
just have to set aside 3 hours.
Well, that's
Yes.
the thing. So it's a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot, and it felt like a true, like it felt like a genre film. It felt like a lot like Seven. It didn't feel like The Dark Knight. And people are like, Dark Knight is better.
No.
I'm like, all I'm saying is that this felt like a genre film. And the question I asked myself when I left the theater was, would I have seen this if it were just a genre film? If it wasn't Batman?
Yeah.
Right. If it was just a noir.
Right, because
That's
it was
that's what I
not a
liked
known
about
quantity.
That's also what I liked about the Batman is when I tell people like I like this movie because it's not a superhero movie. It's literally like it's just
He's a detective. He's a detective.
He's a detective.
And I think like the flip side of that, where a superhero movie without superheroes, I would say is Everything Everywhere All at Once, where it's like it has like so many like marvelly things to it that with no superheroes, and it pays off great.
Yeah.
And going back a bit when you're talking about like multiverse is the hot thing right now, there's a very funny article that came out, or a sad article, where it's like the success of Doctor Strange, No Way Home, and Everything Everywhere All at Once is a proof that like people just love multiverses. And everyone's reply is like, yeah, the reason I went to see Everything Everywhere All at Once is because of the multiverse, not because of the incredible like Asian cast and like these 2 really stylistic directors finally getting a big break. It was because there was the word multiverse. Like,
Yeah, no,
it's insight to like how studios think I'm going to lose a job over this.
Like I got mad because I was like, I remember like I saw a trailer, an ad or something for Everything Everywhere, and it was like the best multiverse movie, and I was like, I didn't even think about like I was
We have
those terms.
We have like that have been released. I think there are 5 major multiverse movies right now. Well, they've been released in the past like 5 years. It's like Spider-Verse, live action Spider-Verse, Doctor Strange 2, Space Jam, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, multiverses are such a thing now.
What I'm surprised about is how much cachet Space Jam had with you guys, because I forgot about it as soon as it was over. I was
I was mostly bringing it up because it's like relevant to this conversation.
It is, yeah.
But
again, it's like this movie is everything that Space Jam could have been.
Yeah,
and wasn't.
I agree.
And this movie has fun, and like you get to see these fun cartoon characters interact with each other. Like the thing that was cool about it is that like when people say like, "Oh, I want to see a multiverse," right? I want to see a movie where like my favorite IPs get to be together. You want to see them interact with each other. You want to see Daffy Duck and Donald Duck play pianos against each
pianos,
other.
Dude. That's
an
iconic scene.
Bugs and Mickey falling down and talking to each other. You want to see Sonic helping out Chip and Dale, as opposed to how Space Jam did it, where it's like, cool, there they are, there they go. And now they're in the audience, and now you get stuck with the Looney Tunes. And not to say the Looney Tunes are bad, I love the Looney Tunes, but like, end of the day, it's like,
and they also had a really forced bad rapping scene.
Yeah,
it's true.
Again, shots fired. But, I always come back to this when I think about Space Jam: A New Legacy. Why?
We only whisper when we talk about Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Why? Oh, why did Daffy Duck go, I want to be a coach? Why? Daffy's like, all right, we're going to play basketball? Coach. Like, what makes you think that's a good idea? And then also the fact that it's like, cool, Iron Giant's in the audience. Why aren't you playing in this game as the center?
There's choices made there.
Hey, since we're talking about sports, by the way, I'm a baseball guy now. I'm not even joking.
Oh, nice.
Now I'm into
I love
baseball.
that, dude. Are you a Dodgers guy?
I'm going to a Dodgers game, but I'm apparently,
Very cool.
I guess I'm a Mets fan.
I was just
Super
going
awesome.
to
Baby Max Scherzer. I'm waiting for DeGrom to get back in the game.
Jared,
I know.
You remember that? No,
it's funny hearing me say
hold on.
names.
Jared, hold on. You know that
Yeah.
no hitter that they did the other week against Phillies? I was there.
Oh, do I know? You mean Pete Alonso's home run?
I was there, man, in a Phillies hat.
See,
Feeling like
I
a
understand
douche.
everything coming out of Jared's mouth right now, but the average person listening to this podcast is going to feel like he's speaking Spanish right now.
Dude, Jared,
I get it.
Jared
The average
3
solidarity
weeks
is
ago would
there.
think I'm speaking Spanish.
Hell, the average people on Jared's own podcast with him don't fully understand what he's saying.
Now,
I stopped listening to you guys like 5 minutes ago.
Are you telling me you don't know the difference between a slider and a sinker? Are you kidding me? Like a 2-seam or a 4-seam?
Jared,
I'm doing my homework.
Jared,
A slider's when
I
it
gotta
comes
call
out
you
real
soon.
smooth, and then a sinker's when it just like goes right to the bottom of the bowl.
oh my
It's
god,
a pitcher's game, okay?
this is the best podcast.
right now
I've
it
ever
is.
recorded.
It absolutely is a pitcher's game. Okay,
Are we
hold
talking
on.
RBIs?
Hold on. Koopa, do you want to wrap this son of a gun up?
Yeah, so now I do want to again. All right, before we end things off here,
Wait, but I'm sorry,
I
by
do
the way,
wanna
I
ask
don't
you
even
guys-
know what a center does. That's what set me off when Sean was like, Iron Giant should be playing center. I'm like, I don't know what that sport is, but let me tell
center
you one
is
sport
tall.
I do know.
All right, so centers are the tall people who block the shots. Think
There's-
Shaquille O'Neal when you think center.
Dude, I
Like, the whole
can't
thing
even-
is like-
I don't even.
Do you know what a tip-off is?
No, I have no idea. Someone told me they were going to the
Don't
Kings
worry
game the
about
other day, and I was like, what sport is that? And they're like, hockey. I'm like, beats me.
It'd be a basketball game if they were in
Yeah, it
Sacramento.
could have
Me
been
out of
that
the ball
Go
game
in-
is what
Koopa,
I
go
say.
into it. Koopa, go into it. I'm sorry.
so I got one more question I want to pin for you guys. Now I would be remiss if I did not ask you guys this question. What's your ooh la la rating for Chippendale?
I was waiting
Rescue
for it.
Rangers?
I was waiting
Well,
for it,
the
baby.
Good, very good. Okay, who's gonna
Okay,
kick
you can
this
go
one
first.
off? All right,
Yeah,
all right, all right,
Go for it.
all right. Ooh la la. Don't mind if I do.
Jared, you want next?
Yeah, no, I'd love to. I'll pass an ooh la la on Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I'm gonna say Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Ooh la la. Don't mind if I do.
All right, I got. I've been sitting on this one because I anticipated this question. Ooh la la, don't mind if I do.
Good.
I'm also gonna give it ooh la la. Don't mind if I do. It was great.
There
It
we
was
go.
fun.
Let's
I would-
confuse your audience.
Yeah, for a podcast that you.
Can't wait for the crossover app. Oh, man,
Yeah.
the multiverse of podcasts?
Wow, this is truly the multiverse episode of Koop'd Up.
Of podness.
Yeah.
This is getting weird. This
And now we
man.
reach the segment where we talk about fast food because that's
That's the only other podcast I listen to.
All right. Well, first, we've I think said all we could say about this movie. This movie was again, watch it. It's so much fun. Again, my biggest complaint is that I wish I could watch this in the movie theater, but c'est la vie. And again, what I said at the top stands true. I read something about I've gotten a lot of mileage out of my Disney Plus stuff as a Star Wars and Marvel consumer, but a lot of their original content really hasn't stuck. Truthfully, that's both a business.
Outside of Pixar, right?
Well,
Turning Red
yeah.
was great.
Turning
Yeah,
Red.
I like Turning
Yeah,
Red.
like any of the flag, like any of the Pixar stuff, any of their big money making stuff still makes money, but like the original shows aren't doing that great for whatever
You don't like
for
the
whatever
Mighty Duck Show?
Wait, you don't like Moon Knight, bro?
No, I like Moon Knight. Oscar
Of
Isaac
course
is
you
my-
like Moon
is
Knight.
my goat. So love Oscar Isaac. That's my dad. But yeah, it was good.
I thought your dad was Monterey Jack.
yeah.
Hey, let's all plug our social media now.
There
Let's
we go. Let's have
All right.
Jared go first.
Yeah, Jared, you go first. Where can the people on the internet find you if they want more Jared?
I guess on Twitter. They can find me on Twitter. They could search for me, I guess.
The king of the castle, lord of the manor.
Yeah,
you gotta give it a handle, aren't you?
I forgot that's what they called it. I don't even know. I don't use Twitter enough that I'm like, oh, what's my handle? It's at Jared Simon Says. I only know that because it's been that way ever since I set it up. We're done.
Good.
Sean, you can go next. Where can the people on the internet find you?
Yeah, baby. Just go to my Linktree. I don't have my Twitter link there, but everything else there. If you go to Linktree.
What's a link tree? What is that? What network?
It's a
It's a tall one that blocks the shots.
No, Linktree is a website where you can like post a bunch of links. Like it's just like a homepage for all your like social.
It's like a
links.
multiverse for all your pages.
Yeah, it's a multiverse for social media. You can go to Linktree. You can find my TikTok on there, my Letterboxd. I think my Twitter's on there as well. They're all different handles. But
Are you going to do Letterboxd for this movie?
I already did.
I gotta
Hold on, because I was told we'll do 15 minutes. Then Koopa took a sweet 40 before he sent us a link.
It wasn't 40 minutes.
It was
I'm
30.
going to read your letterbox review.
Anyway.
Continue.
No,
I
yeah,
already added it to my watched. I just didn't write a review.
Linktree, whatever the hell it is, / would I eat that. You can find my TikTok, my Letterboxd, a link to our podcast, and my Twitter. I think that's all of it there. Yeah, thank you guys.
Should I make a link tree?
Oh.
What would you put on it?
I don't know.
Then don't do it.
Right. Like a
Yeah.
GoFundMe? Is that what people
No,
do?
it's oh god.
I'm not online in this way. This is all news.
Here, I'm going to show you it. Cameron, while you plug yourself, I'm just going to show.
Wait till Jared finds out you
Sorry.
can shop online.
Oh God! Don't let him know.
Cam, go ahead. What,
All right,
where's the
so
stuff for
I'm
Oh.
Camelange Trenalange. You can find me on Twitter at Camelange, CAMALANGE. I sometimes am on Twitch, I guess. I also have an Instagram, so you can pretty much find me anywhere with that handle. And then also you should follow at Oolala Podcast.
He's so good.
Yep,
at
that's
this.
it. That's our handle. At Ulala Podcast.
That's what I should have. That's what you should have thrown me the rock, dude.
Uh-huh.
That would have been perfect for me.
And you can listen to our 13 episodes. 14?
I think it might be 13 or 14 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
They're
did a
all
full
hits.
calendar year.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Let's do. Don't get too excited. Let's do a little bit of inside baseball. We want to have Koopa on when we do another episode,
Mhm.
and that'll happen. Koopa, call your shot. What do you want to talk about on our podcast?
Yeah. What's the fun? What's the fun
Call your
and
shot.
fancy?
Oh man.
Let's actually pitch what our podcast is for listeners who made it this far. Those poor bastards.
Yeah.
It's a podcast about the finer things in life. It's us three schmucks talking about fancy things in a very fun manner.
I want to meet. I
Listen
want
to
to
our
meet the
Halloween
person.
episode. It's probably our best one.
I want to meet the person who made it all the way through, who hasn't seen Chippendale and has never heard of Ooh La La. I want to know who that person is. I want to introduce myself to them.
Yeah, email oolalapodcast@gmail.com. And
Yeah,
that's the guy that's waking up right now from a nap.
That's a medium that I understand.
The
You
emails?
understand email.
You figured out
Great.
email? Okay.
Big time email guy.
I
Got
want
it.
my episode to be about the fanciest types of shirts.
We can do fashion.
Ooh,
yeah.
We haven't done
Fashion.
the fashion
There we
episode
go.
yet.
It's been on our draft list. We'll do a fashion
we-
episode
yeah,
with Koopa.
there we go.
I'm about it.
Beautiful.
It's
That's-
set. We'll set the date.
Hell yeah. And listen, if you guys have made it this far, you can follow me on the socials at Koopa NJ across platforms, Koop'd Up Pod, across all the other platforms. Still working out the kinks with the Patreon stuff in regards to scheduling and everything. But hey, you guys are gonna have some fun content coming up the next couple of weeks because so
Koopa,
much
I'm sorry.
content.
Can I plug one more thing?
Go right ahead.
Subscribe to Disney Plus.
Yeah, you got to help
need
me.
it.
They need
need
help.
You gotta help
guys.
out. They
For
just
financial
roll-
reasons.
They just roll. They're rolling out a new. They're rolling out a new ad level subscription that's even cheaper than the regular subscription with just
Right.
minimal ad insertion.
Minimal.
Like guys, really we really got to band together and help out the mouse.
Yeah.
As if
Struggling right
you know,
now.
not two of their biggest hitters are coming up on the streaming services the next couple of weeks.
What are the biggest hitters? What are they coming out?
The
They got another Beatles? They got another 8 hours of the Beatles?
No, but Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel launch like a week apart from each other, starting next week. So it's going to
Right.
be
Marvelous Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
No, the Mazeless Miss
Yeah,
Marvel.
the Mazeless Miss Marvel. Yes, there we go. Thank you for that. Gentlemen, it was an honor and a pleasure to have you all. I'm very happy to host the Ooh La La reunion podcast where you talk about Chippendale Rescue Rangers. You guys are the
It's an
best,
honor.
So, And and Cam continues the streak as the longest running guest on the show, so he's just going to
Let's
run that.
go.
How far away am I? Like, am I like?
You're close. I think you might be like
am
2
I
or 3
I'm
episodes behind. Yeah,
but I'm like around number 2, right? As
You're
far as,
there.
like, who has
You're
I'm
there.
the king, baby.
We're getting there. Okay, cool.
and then me and Jared are going to talk about baseball for the next like 10 episodes, and you guys are going
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Big
Would-
baseball guy now.
I would love that. No joke. I mean, Jared, what do you think about the National League finally allowing designated hitters?
Say for
All
me.
right.
I just found out that there's 2 different baseball leagues like last week.
Oh,
That's news to me.
All right,
I was
We're
like,
done here.
yeah.
we're done. Folks,
Maybe you guys
That's
just
what
talk
the
about
episode's gonna be.
polos.
thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Stay groovy. I don't know.